Hello, my name is Francis Pinder, and you are watching or listening to the Salesforce Posse podcast, where I speak to Salesforce industry influencers so we can gain a better understanding on how to excel in a career path from a Salesforce admin or developer to an architect. And in this conversation, I'm going to be talking with Qurate, who is one of those incredible people that you just want to continue listening to for hours on end. Qurate is based out in Pakistan and is a recent Salesforce MVP and helps run PakDreamin out in Pakistan. I feel that sometimes us in the Western world, and me especially, I can underestimate the challenges that people have in other parts of the world, which makes Qurate's Salesforce story even more incredible. She's currently working for a UK company, Ortoo, remotely from Pakistan, and for me, she is the quintessential Salesforce MVP. If you need a barometer to measure what a Salesforce MVP is, it would be her, in my opinion. So if you are interested in how to find a Salesforce role outside of your country, want to learn about the dreaming events around the world and the community, and some fantastic advice on how to start out and how to bring value into the world, I think you're going to get a huge amount of value out of this conversation with Qurate. So, without further ado, and I'm totally excited by this session, let's go! So, here we are with Qurate. I think I said that right? Did I get it right that time? I hope so, yeah. Cool. And yeah, you are based in Pakistan, aren't you?
Yeah.
What I'm fascinated about is, or actually, could you just tell a bit of a potted history of how you kind of found Salesforce,
Sure.
and why how you found it and how you kind of got a job into Salesforce?
Sure. So I was a student of software engineering, and I was studying in
Yeah.
Islamabad, Pakistan. I moved from my hometown, which is a bit away from here, because of better education. So while I was in the
Yeah.
university, I wanted to code. I was very good with building things, but with the lack of resources and everything, I ended up more on the quality assurance side. So I
Mm.
graduated in 2017, no, June of 2017, and I started looking for different jobs. And I was looking for more of a support or a QA role. So that's when I found
Mm.
Ortoo, where I'm currently working as well.
So
And yeah, go ahead.
yeah, so how did you actually find it? Was it just searching online or
Yeah.
through an
So
agency?
there are tons of different websites on here, just like you have, in the US or UK, where you can
Mm.
upload your CVs, and then either recruiters can reach out to you, or you can also directly apply to different jobs as well. So there was one such website called Indeed.com, and that works here as well.
Yeah.
So that's where I found an ad. Then I applied to the position. I was reached out to by the team who was recruiting here in Pakistan, and then I had a couple of interviews with them. I think all of that went well, but till the very end, I was not expecting of getting an offer from the first time when I was applying. But um, fortunately, I got an offer from them, and when I was getting hired, I got to know that they are building apps for something called Salesforce. And the
Right.
first thing that I had in my mind was, I don't want to be in sales, but okay, let's give it a try. Take it for a spin. So that's how I found about the platform. But even at that point, I did not have the full understanding of if there is a community, what the platform is really about. I was really hyper focused
Mm.
on our own products and how they work, and doing the work around them. So that's how
Yeah.
I started out with Salesforce with Ortoo, and
So
2017
was
ended.
Ortoo
Yeah,
actually looking for people in Pakistan, or was it
yeah, that's
just
right.
a remote role that you just picked up?
So it was a remote role, but they were hiring in Pakistan um, for different
Oh, okay.
roles, primarily for the technical team, including developers and application engineers or support agents and all of those different roles.
Okay, cool. So, how did you actually? So you kind of started off. You kind of got that job at Ortoo, who are an amazing company. Anyway,
Hmm.
I was with them last week at London Schooling, and you got the role, and then you started looking more into this kind of Salesforce world, I suppose.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
and how did you get involved with the community, and how did you kind of learn more about Salesforce?
Yeah, that's my favorite question actually. So, I started the job in late 2017, and that year really passed on in a similar way. I was, doing my job, learning about the products, learning about the customers, but I had no idea that there is a whole community out there that I can reach out to or connect to or do all of those things. But what ended up happening was that in 2018, Ortoo was participating in the DemoJam at London's Calling.
Oh yeah.
And they
Oh
told us,
really?
yeah, yeah. So they told us about, we'll be doing the demo jam. So tune in, from online and participate and see how all of that happens. So while I was doing that, participated, logged on to the live stream and I was listening to different apps and talking, people talking about their products. So I, for some reason, thought about logging on to Twitter as well, because in the sessions they were talking about, tweet about your favorite application, whose demo you are liking, and all of those things. So as soon as
Yeah,
I opened Twitter and I typed in the hashtag that they had for London's Calling that year, and I see all the people talking to each other, and I'm like, wait a minute, who are these people? Where are they coming
yeah.
from? So because at that point I had no idea about the community at all. So
Yeah.
my mind was, blown. There are so many people out there working on Salesforce. It's just not me and or two, and I can connect to all of these people. And I think at that time there were some issues around voice or video as well with London's Calling's live stream, and I was like,
No.
even tweeting at you, I had no idea who you were, but I was like, the voice is not coming. Please help us. So that's how I just got involved
Yeah,
somehow,
yeah. Oh,
and
amazing. That is so cool.
and Ortoo did the demo. It went well, and I think On Backup won that demo jam that day, and that's how
Yeah,
I
yeah.
got to know about them as well. And after
Oh,
that,
cool. That's so
so
amazing. That is so amazing.
yeah, and I think up until this point, I was already working. I think more than maybe 5 or 6 months for Ortoo, and after
Mm,
London's Calling, I started, my own research about what is Salesforce, who are all those people, and how I can connect with them as well. So that's how I
yeah.
found about Trailhead actually. After working for quite a while, um, I landed on Trailhead and I was even more
Yeah.
surprised that okay, I can learn all of these things and get badges,
And it's
and
free? Yeah.
it's free. No,
Yeah.
I don't need a credit card because I didn't had one either at that point.
Yeah, yeah.
So that was even more amazing. And um, that's when I started doing badges and connecting to different people on Twitter and LinkedIn. And it was really at first, at the first whole month, I was like, I'm only one, here who knows this secret, and I should, keep on exploring these things. And then I was super motivated about it and always very hyped up about Trailhead and the community and all of those things.
Yeah.
So I needed somebody in the team as well, who can share the same excitement, and then both of us or all of us can, combine in a combined manner, continue this journey. So what I did was
Yeah.
that I went ahead and opened up a group within the internal community, company communication. Didn't ask anybody. I was just like, it's the right thing and let's do it. So that group's name was
Yeah.
Trailhead and Salesforce Everything. And in there, I'll just,
Yeah. Cool.
keep shouting about all the badges that I'm doing, all the events that are coming up. And that's how I, got everybody else excited as well within the company. So to speak, so
Awesome.
they can find out about Trailhead and
Yeah.
community and all the events. And to I think I was fortunate that all of those people within the company were very receptive of that information, and they also started participating. So that's a quick summary of how I found the community for Salesforce.
So how do you, okay, so I think people find it a little bit odd, this kind of
Hmm.
Salesforce community sometimes. And it's like, it's a technical tool. I must just learn the technical, how it works, and that's it. Yeah. So
Hmm.
why should somebody get involved in the community? What is the value of it? What is the point? I suppose, is what do you get out of it?
Yeah, I think that's a very loaded question, and the answer would take me a bit as well. I think you
Yeah.
so with any any skills or any platform, whenever you're learning something new, more than the resources, what you need is that there is somebody to support you through that journey. When you're you're learning new things, you're getting stuck at different things, which might be easier after a few years, but when you're starting out, even if an object is not getting created, that's a crisis moment for somebody who's starting out. So I think that's where the community is the most important bit of the whole learning. How your experience is with the
Yeah.
platform, the tone for that is also set by the support that you have. So if you have somebody, who can celebrate with you when you are achieving something, or, come in and let you know that you're not alone when you are going through a hard time or somewhere you are stuck.
Yeah.
And on top of it,
Yeah.
with the Salesforce community, the thing, that benefited me a lot as well as a person was just the acceptance of, regardless of wherever you are coming from, whatever your backgrounds are. I am not a d- I was never at a disadvantage, um, based off of any things or my circumstances. That was what the best
Mm.
thing was with the community. And at points where I was not believing in myself, there were a lot of people around me who believed in me, and that made me,
Yeah.
think about it, that okay, I can do it. So that's where the community is really, really important for anybody who's starting to learn and is on their journey already, but just needs a little bit of support to keep going.
Yeah. And I think for me, as actually even for me, I think we're always learning. I've been doing this for 12 years, but the
Hmm.
platform's continually growing. They keep on buying more products like Slack and things like this.
Yeah.
And I think what I love about the community is you get people that are the kind of gurus. You kind of get to know those
Hmm.
people that are just really good at Marketing Cloud or really good at Pardot or really good at the sales pipeline or whatever it may be. And they're kind of in your Rolodex if you get stuck,
Hmm.
who you
You
can
can
reach
reach
out
out
to
to
and ask
them.
a quick question.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they're so
And at times
receptive and just a
yeah,
community wanting to help and support you.
yeah. And at times I'm amazed, if I'm reaching out to somebody who is kind of a star to me, in the ecosystem, for the fact how much they're doing for the community and how accomplished they are within their technical skills.
Mm,
And whenever I hear back, mostly right away, I'm just I'm touched to the to the point. I they are busy with their schedules, but because they value the community and the impact that they are bringing, they're always so approachable and always willing to help.
yeah, and you are now one of those people. You are now a Salesforce MVP, inspiring a whole nother generation of people learning Salesforce in your community. So, how did you actually? How was it a surprise when you were given the Salesforce MVP, or was it how did you get it, or what did they see in you? Do you think?
I think it was one of the biggest surprises that I had in my life
Yeah,
so far. I
same
was
with
just
me.
sitting
Yeah,
on Yeah, I was just sitting sorting my mailbox one day, and I get an email with a congratulations, and I'm like, what did I win? And in the first moment, I thought, because it was the weekend, I thought it was one of those digests that you get every weekend.
yeah,
And I just
yeah,
I was like, leave it for a minute, and I went on with my way. And when I come back to my mailbox after some hours, and I'm like, MVP? Wait a minute. And I opened it, and it says, congratulations on becoming the MVP. And I was sitting there for almost an hour in disbelief. And I'm like, who nominated me? How did this happen? And I had so many questions. I was grateful, but I was equally shocked as well on how did this happen.
yeah.
And
No,
I
I think
think,
it's just incredible because it's always such an honor. But you know you've proven yourself to, you know, you've inspired so many people for them to vote for you, and to say, hey, look, you are somebody, you know, special, somebody important, somebody that's inspired me, somebody that should be awarded a Salesforce MVP. So, you know, it's all down to you, and huge congratulations. Was it last year? I can't remember when you actually got awarded it. Was it last year?
it was this year actually.
Oh, was it this year? Oh, wow.
Hmm.
Yeah, it's so how does it feel now post now being an MVP? What has things changed, or is it just normal? Yeah.
Yeah. For the first week, I was really, I was, I felt like I was quite under some pressure. And I was kind of
Mm.
feeling like, what do I need to do to live up to this um, thing that I got? And I was always thinking like, what do I do? Do I need to go to Mars now? What's the level of things
Yeah.
that I can do? And I reached out to somebody, and what she told me was, take a moment. You have done something to get here, so now just enjoy the
Mm.
whatever comes with it. Don't take too much pressures, and just keep doing what you were already doing. And that was really reassuring
Yeah.
for me. And anytime I'm somewhere, everybody asks me the same question: what was your plan to become an MVP? And I was like, I just kept thinking, and I think the only answer I got for this question was that I never had a plan. um, and
Yeah.
what I did was that I was already acting as an MVP long before I became one. And that's the only
Yeah.
explanation that I had. You know, Realizing the potential of Salesforce and how life changing that this career can be. And then just trying to bring the
Mm.
same thing and making it happen for other people is really what I did, or I just tried to do.
Yeah. And that is kind of epitomizes an MVP, you know, supporting, collaborating, and, you know, bringing everybody up, you know, with you.
Hmm.
So yeah, no, it's a good, and actually it's interesting. Actually, you're talking about like the pressures and things like that of
Hmm.
now an MVP. Oh my word, it's almost like you feel like the work's got, there's even more work to do to keep it almost.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
but actually, yeah, when it comes down to it, you know, you've been doing it for a time. It's now been recognized. You just carry on doing the same thing, really, and use the Salesforce machine, you know, to kind of almost amplify it a little bit more,
Yeah.
so you can make more of a difference. But yeah, so,
And then,
but then also since then, you've started in Pakistan Dreaming.
hmm, it was actually before becoming an
Can,
MVP.
before?
I
Oh my
had
word.
that
Okay,
story.
cool.
So I
So
can
can you,
share a
okay,
bit.
can, for those people who don't know about dreaming events, could you kind of
Hmm.
give an idea of what these events are? Because they're kind of a bit all over the world, and like London's Calling that I did actually, we had last week when we were recording this, it was only a week ago, is yeah another kind of dreaming event. But could you kind of explain, you know, what is a dreaming event to somebody who doesn't know?
Sure. So dreaming event. So there is one thing that there is Dreamforce that happens every year in US, and that is by Salesforce. And similar, events on a not as at the scale of Dreamforce, but a smaller scale, happen around the world. But they are organized by and led by the community and for the community as well. So they can be in different locations in the US, or in other parts of the world as well. But the basic goal for those events is to provide a stage to the people living in that community or that country, to connect with other people who are working in the Salesforce ecosystem or just starting out and are spread all across the world. So um, it's more like a family reunion, and you learn as well
Yeah.
on the side, and you get to connect with a lot of different people, and there are a lot of different opportunities. You can be a speaker, talk about something that you're passionate about, or come in, be an exhibitor, talk about the applications or products you provide. And at the most, at the core, it is something that the community comes together to do to benefit the larger community of that geography or in
Hmm.
that area.
Yeah, and in supporting everybody, and I think also it's that kind of, it's kind of building those relationships and then
Mm-hmm.
reinforcing those relationships so you can kind of again help each other and support each other and learn from each other, which I think is so important. And especially, you know, we've had, was it 2+ years of, you know, not being able to have, you know, we've got
Yeah.
online relationships, of course, you know, is a
Mm-hmm.
different thing, but you know, having those chance encounters and those things at these, you know, the dreaming events, you don't really get those as much online. And that, you know, chance conversation that makes you think slightly differently, and suddenly, you know, you're nudged onto another kind of amazing path that you didn't know existed
Yeah.
almost, which, you know, is why
Mm-hmm.
I love those kind of events. Okay, so how did Pakistan Dreaming help the community when you is it your first? Was that the first time it was on? Was it last year?
Yeah, it was last year, and it was the first community event from Pakistan. And the idea actually was not mine. So we have another person in the Pakistan community who's very active and is giving back in all ways he can. His name is Hamza Siddiqui. So he had the idea for having a dreaming event in Pakistan, and he reached out to a lot of people, including myself, and that's how
Mm,
it all started. And we had another one. So in the core team, we had Hamza, myself, and Badr, and we worked on the idea and all the logistics to make the event happen. So it was an online event because of COVID. Of course, last year we could not host an in-person one,
mhm.
and we had around 60 sessions, so 60 speakers from
Oh,
around
great!
15 different countries, and we had
Yeah,
somewhere around 700 to 1,000 registrants for the event day, and it was
brilliant.
way beyond what we expected. And we got a lot of support from everybody because it was, the inaugural event, and everybody showed
Yeah.
huge support. And I think the benefit that it had for the community here was that prior to Pakistan Dreaming, we did have some traction in the Pakistan community, even on, LinkedIn and other social networks as well. But it was not that visible, or people didn't
Mm,
know what's the benefit of going out there and connecting with other people. So Pakistan Dreaming kind of provided a platform to all those people in Pakistan to connect to the
mm,
trailblazers and different companies who are, sponsoring us abroad, and kind of see the bigger picture of this whole Salesforce community. So after
mm,
Pakistan Dreaming, I've seen a lot more traction, even on LinkedIn, on Twitter, and there are a lot more new trailblazers coming in, and sharing about their journey, and that's what I think it really helped with, to help people understand how Salesforce can benefit them in having a better career, and also how they can start giving back
mm.
to the community if they are already, at some place in the community. So that's where it really helped.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's fascinating. Yeah, because I kind of, it's a bit weird because it's like in the UK and the US, you're kind of almost in this kind of bubble of Salesforce, almost
Hmm.
in a bit of an
Yeah.
echo chamber. You don't realize those people that don't know Salesforce almost,
Hmm.
and what, you know, it's
Yeah.
just kind of like elevating them and getting them to understand. Hey, there's people out there, you know, that can help and support you. But yeah, it's fascinating. What a huge amount! What is that? Yeah, 700 to 1,000 people. It's just crazy. Yeah,
And
really
I
well
think
done.
that's really
Um,
something that put Pakistan on the map as well, or map of Salesforce.
yeah,
And everybody got to know,
yeah,
there's a country called Pakistan, and there are so many trailblazers there.
yeah,
And it was kind of a very proud moment for all of us as well, involved in pulling it together.
yeah, yeah. And I think it's just kind of understanding there's communities out there that have got resources as well that can be
Hmm.
connected. And I think one of my realizations was when, you know, teaching all these people around the world is it all comes down to making meaningful relationships and connecting
Hmm.
people around the world, and you know, just to elevate everybody,
Yeah.
and make them achieve. So yeah, no, it's a really good, really, really good. Yeah. So we had our dreaming event, London's Calling, last week, and it was fab. Just kind of finally meeting up with people again after so many years, and learning from each other, and you know, sharing smiles and fun and sadness as well in places, but and excitement. So yeah, it was definitely definitely I love the Dreaming events because it's kind of like what tech events used to be. I think somebody up at London's Calling. Everybody's there, one big family, all wanting to learn from each other, all wanting to help each other, and it's just got a great feeling and a great, a great place. So definitely worth. If you get a chance, hunt out a Dreaming event and go to it. And
Yeah.
actually, I'll put a link in the show notes of there's basically a site, a page on the Salesforce community that lists all these kind of community events and events going on around the world. So definitely worthwhile finding one locally. And if you're in the community in a country that doesn't have one, well,
Yeah.
think about connecting up and creating one yourself. I think when we started London's Calling, it started off with it was like 100 people, maybe 200 people at the time,
Hmm.
but it was quite, a lot of people already using Salesforce, and it's kind of grown
Yeah.
and grown and grown to over 700 now. So, but yeah.
Yeah. And also, Pakistan Dreaming is coming back for the second round. So feel free to register. It's happening in August this year.
Oh, brilliant! Oh, I'll put a link in the link. Yeah, links in the show notes for that as well. So, do you have a kind of a submission process for talks, or is that over now? Because it's getting
Yeah,
quite
it's open
close.
actually, and it's open until
Oh,
15th
okay.
of July. So by the mid of next month.
Okay, brilliant. Cool. So yeah, well worth it. And are you going to be streaming it online as well?
Yeah, this year round we will be streaming online again as well because we are already
Oh,
preparing for the
brilliant. I'll check that
in-person one,
out.
but it would need some more time until next year. We might go in person.
Right. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah, we kind of jumped into the in person last week, but it's kind of like a little bit of a, COVID over in the UK is a lot
Yeah,
maybe better position, not 100% sure, but yeah, the rules for the government are a lot more relaxed. So yeah,
yeah,
but yeah, it was great and really great, and we had two big tents outside as well because it was not too hot at that time last week. Now it's flipping boiling. I am sweating. It's like it's crazy over here. But yeah, actually, no, I went to India Dreaming when they did the first India
wow.
Dreaming,
Hmm.
um, and that was great in New Delhi. Just meeting up with everybody there. But yeah, it's a fantastic, and also it's kind of like if you do have the ability to travel, if you are in the US, you are in wherever you are, literally go out to the different communities and different dreaming events because it is it is very different cultures, different ways of working, different things, and you can learn so much from it.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's fascinating. I can't explain it really, but how welcoming and how interesting it is just actually being completely immersed in a different
mhm,
culture, in a different way of working, but still having this similar core kind of Salesforce core going through it all, I suppose, of family and
yeah.
Ohana and everything. So it's kind of, yeah, it is, but it is amazing. Yeah. So definitely worthwhile.
And even
So,
when we started
I,
off with Pakistan Dreaming, most of the
yeah,
support we got a lot of support from India. So that was
yeah.
really, a great feeling as well.
Oh,
We're,
fantastic.
and we would love to host you in Pakistan someday as well.
Yeah. I'd love to come over at some point. I can't do it this year, but yeah, it'd be great. But yeah, no, it'd be amazing. But okay, so I've got a question for you. If
Hmm.
you could turn back the clock, yeah, to before you were
Hmm.
in the Salesforce world, and you knew now what for what you know now, would you
Hmm.
tell yourself? Would you do anything differently? What advice would you give yourself?
I would love to go back if I could. Um, and I think everybody does, want to go back and see, give some advice to themselves. I think one of the biggest thing I would tell myself is that, um, like we always talk about the learning journey, the Salesforce learning journey, and it is unique to
Mm,
everyone. Anybody could,
yeah.
be a ranger in a week, or somebody could take months to get there, and it's very personal and to the person who is doing it. It's unique for everyone. I
Mm,
think that's something we talk about a lot. On the other side, the giving back journey for everybody, that is unique as well. And I think when I was, starting out, I had a lot of doubts or a lot of imposter syndrome and just telling me, I don't know enough to do anything about it. But what I would tell myself is that there is no set, formula, or no set plan that you have to go by to give back to the community. And I think I
Hmm.
took a lot of pressure on myself. I was beating on myself a lot about it, like, why can I not do this? Why can I not be a blogger, maybe, why I'm not pushing out content.
Yeah.
But what I understand now, right now, is that just like the learning journey is unique to you, the giving back journey is unique to you as well. So whatever you
Hmm.
think, in whatever way you think you can bring value to the community, just do that. And stop comparing. You will get there, wherever your goal is, because whenever you're comparing, you're just putting a lot of undue or unnecessary pressure on yourself.
Yeah, completely.
Just go about your journey and add value in whichever way you want. Just just think about what your goal is. If your goal is to bring more people inside Salesforce or support people who are just starting out, just work on that bit by bit. Don't get,
Yeah.
if you're because if you're getting you're trying to do too much, you'll just end up getting yourself overwhelmed. So just take it in one day at a time, and just stay true to whatever whoever you are, and just do what you want to do to add value.
Yeah.
That's what I
No,
would tell
very.
myself.
That's brilliant. Yeah, absolutely brilliant. Yeah, completely agree. Yeah, don't know what else to say after that. No, yeah, it's so true though. It's so true. So many people are just, they'll compare themselves to other people and go, "Oh, I want to do that." And I even
Yeah.
had somebody kind of go, even
Hmm.
their boss said, "Can you be more like, this other person in the community?" I'm like, "No, you got to be yourself. You got
No.
to, do what's right for you." And also,
Hmm.
if you're trying to be somebody else, you're just copying them, and
Yeah.
it just, it just doesn't work. Be yourself. Do what you love doing. Do what you want to do to support the community, if that or not, and carve out your niche and just have fun with it. But yeah,
Yeah.
brilliant words.
And if you're
So
not
if
able to,
uh,
if you're not able to find your niche initially, just don't beat yourself too much about it. You will find it eventually. Once
no,
you're
yeah,
working to different things, you will get there eventually. So
yeah,
I
absolutely, and
think
I
the
think
core of
yeah,
my advice is just to be yourself, be, kind, be
yeah,
compassionate toward others, be respectful of other people and their time, and just give back in whatever way you can, and don't wait
mm,
for be perfect. Nobody is ever perfect or an expert to say. Everybody is always
yeah,
learning and evolving, and nothing is too small to share. Even if
mm,
you know how to create a formula field, share it with other people, whoever want to study
yeah,
it, take benefit from it. Everything is helpful, because there are tons of people who are just starting out, and they are where you were a few years back. So think in
exactly,
that
yeah,
way. And I think one of my biggest shift of perspective was initially when I started out, and I was like, looking at all those people like yourself or other people in the community, and I was thinking, okay, what what value do I bring? They are already bringing so
mm,
much value in the community. What else can I do? And that's when I realized, there are so many people who are just starting out, who just want to understand
yeah,
what Salesforce is, what Trailhead is, because to us, after working for this long, Trailhead is so easy. But whoever is starting out, it's almost like a maze of badges, and it's hard to
yeah,
it's hard to find your way
completely,
around
yeah.
it. So I think
You
that's
need a
my
trail guide
perspective
just
really.
to navigate
Yeah,
through, yeah.
yeah. That's, I think, where
But I
my
think
my perspective shifted to that.
yeah, and I think also a lot of people don't realize that they're kind of actually usually standing on a mountain of value that they don't know,
Mhm.
and that actually, Salesforce is just a way of kind of unlocking some of that. And even if it's
Yeah.
not, if you start learning Salesforce and Salesforce isn't the thing you like doing, it can
Mhm.
unlock so many different doors in different industries, connecting you with different people in different countries, that even if you move off Salesforce and do something else, it can just unlock those doors, and make, put you on paths that you wouldn't even think or have dreamt that you could have been on, years before Salesforce. So yeah, that's why I love it.
That's the beauty of Salesforce. I wouldn't. If I,
Mm.
track back to 2017 when I was getting graduated, what I was thinking was I'm getting a dead end job where I'm, doing some support in QA and that's all I would do for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
But right now, what I am doing, I could never think that I would be doing this. And it was all
Mm.
made possible because of Salesforce and all the opportunities and the community and all of their, all of their kindness and the will to help me out and help so many people out as well.
Yeah, you really have built your career on the Salesforce platform.
Yeah, that's the best. I think I heard it somewhere. The best thing I
Yep.
built on Salesforce platform is my career.
Yep, exactly. It's in one of the other MVPs. Yeah, I can't
Yeah,
remember. Oh, who said it? But yeah.
one of us
It
forgot who
is
said
so
it, but
true.
somebody said it.
Yeah, yeah. I'll look it up after this. Put a quote. But yeah, no, it's definitely true. It is incredible. So thank you. If you do have anything else to say, actually, before we kind of wrap up.
I think the only thing that I would say um, to everybody who is watching this, no matter where they are, and especially if somebody from Pakistan is watching, is that I um, I just used this platform, the community, to get where I am today. And regardless of whatever your circumstances are, nothing is holding you back here from
Mm,
just shooting to your full potential. So just go for it, believe in yourself, and give it all you have, and I'm sure it will maybe or for I'm extremely um I'm sure that you will do even better than what I did, maybe by leaps and bounds. And if I can, after I became the MVP, the realization I had, and even when they send you an email and tell you about whoever nominated you, what they said about you, and that line is really dear to me. And what it said was that she is a representation for Muslim Pakistani women in the Salesforce ecosystem. And when I joined, I saw nobody who was in similar circumstances as myself,
mm,
who was up there. So if somebody can see me and tell themselves, if she can do it, I can do it. That's the biggest win that I have from all of this situation.
yeah, absolutely. And if people wanted to reach out to you and contact you, what's the best way of reaching out to you?
You can send me a message on LinkedIn or Twitter. I'm very active on both of those places, and I'm sure I'll get back to you as soon as I can.
Brilliant. And I'll put your LinkedIn profile and Twitter in the show notes as well. But yeah,
Thank
thank you
you.
so much. This has been absolutely brilliant. I hope you've enjoyed it as well.
I
And
loved it.
yeah, thank you so much. You've been brilliant.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for watching or listening to the Salesforce Posse podcast. Now, please, if you like or what you see or hear, then please rate this podcast in your podcast player, as it tells me that there are people out there that actually are listening to this and that it's useful to them. Also, it helps the podcast algorithms to kind of elevate the podcast in the different podcast directories, which will be really helpful for me as well. And finally, if you do have a question that you want to ask on the podcast, then head to salesforceposse.com/message and maybe you'll appear in the next podcast. But apart from that, thanks for listening, and until next time, ta-ta.